Um, let's just get started. Hello, Richard. Thanks for joining this session. I'm going to address everything to you because you're alone now, and then continue on if there is more people joining. Hi, Terry. Right. So today we're going to talk about marine conservation and more specifically our marine conservation trips. I'm just going to introduce myself very quickly. I am Mathilde. I'm from France. I have been living in Indonesia for the past 4 years and managing this liveaboard named Adelaar. I'm currently in France, spending some time with my family and friends. Hi, Terry.
Hey, how you going?
Hello. Thanks for joining.
No worries, I'll just introduce myself, then I'll step back if you like.
That's all right.
Okay,
I'm just I was just introducing myself. Where was I? Oh yeah, I was saying that I have been living in Indonesia for the past 4 years, and I'm currently in Europe due to COVID and all of these crazy things that are happening in the world. That's why I'm wearing this big woolly jumper. I'm not in Indonesia at the moment. I'm a scuba diver myself. I'm also a surfer, and I do a bit of sailing, which is why doing this session today was quite important for me as well. We'll just dive right in. For your information, don't forget to ask your questions in the chat that you will find on the top right of your screen. And also make sure you ask your questions in the session chat and not in the event chat, because if you ask them in the event chat, I won't be able to see them. Okay, let's go. Who are we? As I was saying, we are liveaboard based in Indonesia. This ship Adelaar was built in 1902, so more than 120 years ago in the Netherlands, and was actually used during the war to transport war goods. And then when the war ended, his current owner literally went to buy the anchors of the boat and ending up living with the whole ship. And then Adelaar went through years and years of renovations, also went on the world tour before settling in Indonesia about 30 years ago. So when the owners arrived in Indonesia 30 years ago, there was not so many liveaboards operating there. Everything was very remote, and they enjoyed discovering all of these islands by themselves. And they fell in love with Bali, where they settled, which is why now they decided to share what they've been experiencing themselves with guests, divers and marine enthusiasts from all across the world. And also, this is also the reason why we feel responsible for protecting the environment we thrive in. And that's why we created this marine conservation trip that I'm going to tell you about now. So we have 3 topics that we based our marine conservation trips on. The first one is the Manta Rays. Second one is the whale sharks, which is very special for us since we are launching during this event fundraiser for whale shark conservation in Indonesia. I will tell you all about it a bit later in the presentation. And the last one is the coral reef. So I'm going to go into details for each of these special trips right now. And let's just get started with the Manta Ray Special. This is actually the first marine conservation trips we decided to run. I think that was about 4 years ago. We knew that manta rays were definitely threatened in Indonesia. They're killed for their gills that are sent to China for Chinese medicine, mostly. And we kind of started as these trips as a partnership with local NGOs and trying to raise awareness about the species conservation in Indonesia through excursions to local villages, to fishermen's bays, and then we really noticed that the guests were getting really interested in knowing what we were doing for the manta rays in Indonesia. So we took it to a next level and decided to bring a marine biologist on board while we were hosting the trip. And this marine biologist kind of started sharing presentations and a bit of his knowledge and numbers about the manta ray population in Indonesia. And then we continued on to organizing identification games underwater. You know, we used to go to the cleaning stations and sit there for a while and observe the animals and really try to put into practice what we've learned on the presentations on board. So now during these trips, we try to spend as much time as possible on dive sites where we can spot manta rays. Most of these sites are located in the Komodo National Park. And you may know some of these well-known dive sites, Manta Alley and Manta Point. There is also Mawan, as very good manta diving sites. So we try to spend a bit of time there. We usually do several dives in the same spot and try to find the best angle to observe the animals, but we'll also do a bit of macro diving and other kind of diving during the trips. The trips are 10 days, so there is plenty of time to do it all. Yeah, just moving on to the whale shark special. Maybe, sorry, I'm just gonna interrupt myself for a second, and I'm gonna pop the link to our special cruises on the chat now, so you can take a look if you like. There you go. Whale shark special. This is very special to us, as I said. I'm going to tell you on the next slide what the fundraiser about. But we do these trips very similar to the Manta specials. The only difference is that the whale sharks are actually not spotted in the Komodo National Park. So what we usually do is that we host the whale shark trips on trips that are either one-way Bali Komodo or Komodo Bali, because the whale shark excursion is on the north of Sumbawa. So it's on the way in or out of the Komodo National Park. And we usually stop there between 2 to 3 days, and we match the dates with the new moon to maximize our chances to see the whale sharks. We partner with Conservation International, which have a wonderful platform where you can actually follow the whale sharks that they've been tagging through the past years. And every time they surface, their data is recorded and streamed on their website, so you can see where the animals have been and where they surfaced. And pretty amazing, and they're also really nice because they actually share the GPS locations with us. So when we get to this bay, we first partner with the local fishermen who are fishing for bait fish, and if there is bait fish, there is usually whale sharks. We match that up with the new moon and also the GPS location. So we try to maximize our chances to see the animals there. And we try to spend 2 to 3 days in the bay depending on the conditions. We usually only snorkel because they're just there on the surface, but we happen to scuba dive a little bit for people who want to spend a little bit more time photographing or making videos. I'm just gonna tell you about the Go Tag Me project very quickly. Some of you may have attended the session our ambassador Mathilde did this morning. if you didn't, not a problem, because she will also be on stage tomorrow at 2 p.m. GMT, and she will tell you everything there is about whale shark conservation in Indonesia, and also about this project, about this fundraiser. I'm just gonna move on to the next of our marine conservation special. Coral reef. This is probably the most important of all marine conservation trips, since, well, coral reef is the base of a healthy, thriving marine life anywhere in the coral triangle, really. We're very lucky to operate in an area of the world where there is the most diverse coral and coral fish species in the world. But we also need to protect it, which is why we try to, again, raise awareness during these trips, thanks to a coral specialist who is on board. There will be a theoretical course on the boat, on board, and identification games, just as the Manta and the Whale Shark Special. But there will also be an excursion to a coral rehabilitation center located in Sumbawa, where you will actually get to see what these people are doing to rehabilitate areas that have been mostly destroyed by like bad fishing practices, also global warming and pollution. I mean, you will also be educated about all the causes for coral reef degradation. So indeed, there will be a lot of macro dives, but not only. These trips are also going to Komodo National Park, and there will be a lot of bigger fish and pelagics to be seen. And I'm just gonna stop right there and read your question, Richard. I saw no shark. That is a very good question about the whale shark and how they're usually surrounded with crowds of people. We are quite lucky with that because, first of all, not so many people know where this bay is exactly located. So we try to keep it secret as much as possible, even though, world of math, it happens that, people get the location and they finally go, but it's still very quiet. We also are the only liveaboard at the moment who gets to have the GPS location, so we usually first to get there. In 2019, for example, we have been alone for all the whale shark specials on the area. 2018, I can't really recall. That might have been one or two other boats, but it's usually us alone, and we're very, very lucky and thankful for having it like this. I don't know how long it will last, and I hope it will, but yeah, we are also being very careful with instructions in terms of how to behave underwater, what the distance you need to keep with the animals, and we have a very fragile relationship with the fishermen that allow us to come to their baggins. The baggins is the name of the boat they use to catch bait fish. So they attract the whale shark there. And we don't want to destroy this relationship because it's also thanks to them that we managed to run these excursions. So I can't guarantee you will be alone there, but so far we have been very lucky with this. How has bleaching affecting the coral around Komodo? Sounds good, thanks. Well, Komodo is actually still very healthy. Main reason is that we have very high currents there. and cold currents, a lot of thermoclines, and the water is not as warm as some other areas of Indonesia. For example, it's been way worse. North Sumbawa, it's been worse. In Bali, it's a bit worse, but it's still okay. I mean, I was chatting with someone who was out in Australia on the Great Reef Barrier and said that it was way worse than what he's seen in Indonesia. I haven't been there, so I can't judge. But from feedbacks we get from our diving guests who have been all around the world, Komodo seems to be very healthy compared to other places. Thank you, Richard. I was just, oh, Maldives. Okay, well, that's good to know that Maldives, there was a lot of bleaching there. That's actually a good question you could ask to our second speaker. His name is Pascal Kobe, and he's a French underwater photographer. He will host a session today or tomorrow. I can't remember. I will check the schedule. He's been teaching underwater photography in the Maldives for 10 or 15 years. So he's probably seen how everything changes through time, and he would probably be the best person to answer questions about the Maldives. But yeah, good to know. Good to know. Sorry, I'm just gonna go back to social media very quickly. If you want to follow our adventures and get to know Adelaar a little bit better, we have 3 main channels. You can check our Instagram account, Facebook page, and YouTube account. I'm gonna send you the links right away. There is also quite a bit of video content on YouTube that you can check out to see what's life on Adelaar, really. There you go. And if you want to get in touch with us, you could head to our website, which I will send you the link in a second. You could reach out to me directly on WhatsApp on the number that you see on the presentation right now, and through email, indeed, info@adelaar-cruises.com. Does anyone have questions about our trips? I am also going to put some more links in the chat now for you. I'm going to put the page of our fundraiser, the Go Tag Me for the whale sharks. And I am also going to share with you our page about marine conservation. So these are generated on our website, where you will also find information about any other trips than marine conservation. Terry, how many whale shark trips do you have per year? It's increasing every year. In 2019, we had 3. In 2020, we had 4, but none of them happened yet due to the crisis. 2021, we're trying to have at least 4. What times of the year? Well, you will find that on our cruise schedule. I'm going to send the link to you right away. But it's usually matches with the new moon. So any trip that is tagged as a whale shark trip is a trip that occurs during the new moon, and that's either departing from Bali going to Komodo or the opposite way around. Why? Because the whale sharks, they're not in Komodo, they're actually on the way from Bali to Komodo and back. So we have to do it on this one-way trip. Richard, I am vegan with the liveaboard access for that diet. Indeed, we do adapt to any kind of diet. I think our cruise director, or I don't think it's, I'm not sure if it's the cruise director or the dive master, but one of them is vegan themselves, so they have their own diet on the boat, and we adapt very easily. We need to know in advance because sourcing in Indonesia sometimes is a little bit tougher, but we have adapted in the past to vegan, gluten-free, vegetarian, any kind of diet, really. Is there a single supplement if traveling alone? Depends what formula do you choose. You could share a cabin with someone as a cabin sharer. So we have two cabins, stateroom 2 and stateroom 3, that could be shared. So we split the beds into one double and one single, or two singles, and then you can share with someone of the same gender of you, indeed. And in this case, you don't have to pay any supplement. If you want to have the cabin for yourself, then there is a supplement of 75%. I hope I answered all of your questions. Yes. Terry, did you find the information on the cruise schedule for Whale Shark trip? If not, I will just send all the dates to you right after the presentation, if you like. Okay, I am just gonna give you a small, hang on. Okay, Terry, let's just finish this session now and then do a one-to-one session later, so we can discuss collaboration. No problem. I would be happy, as I said to you this morning, to take this conversation further. Okay. Last but not least, I wanted to give you a heads up about our offer during the show. We are now launching our Pay Now, Cruise Later campaign. So this basically allows you as a potential guest to benefit from a discount and 3 years flexibility on departures. That means that we sell vouchers for any kind of trip. So we have vouchers for all our cabins and all trip durations. These vouchers offer either 30, 20, or 15% off. And once you have purchased your voucher, you have 3 years to decide when you want to go on a trip. If you don't feel too comfortable to travel now, considering the situation, will indeed allow you to book a trip in 2022, for example. Or if you want to purchase your voucher now and you don't want to pick dates right away because you want to see how this crisis is gonna develop through time, you can also wait 6 months, and in 6 months' time, come to us with your voucher and say, okay, now I have chosen the dates, I want to travel. Do you have a cabin available on this trip? And we'll confirm your departure. Richard, I'm just going to come to that on my next slide. So this offer is limited in time. There is only 100 vouchers. The first 10 vouchers that will be purchased offer 30% off, so our biggest discount. Then the next 30 vouchers offer 20% off, and the last 60 vouchers offer 15% off. So this is a first come, first served basis, and it expires on November 17th. So if you want to enjoy this offer, hurry up. I'm going to put the link of the voucher page in the chat for you right away. And we also have a session about this campaign a little bit later today. My colleague Morgane will tell you all about it. Moving on to the next slide, and this will answer your question, Richard. We have decided to keep our normal cancellation and booking policy, but we added a COVID-19 special clause, which means if you are unable or in incapacity to travel due to COVID-19, so this is if you have contracted the virus if your home country doesn't let you out or back in after your trip, or if Indonesia prevents you from entering the country, you will not be impacted. We will save the money that you have sent to us and give you 24 months to rebook any trips at any time without increasing the price. So that's a way for us to guarantee that we will survive this crisis, and also to give a bit of confidence to our guests that they will not lose their money. They will still be able to do the trips, and we'll do everything possible to make this happen for them. Entry requirements for Indonesia at the moment, they don't release any sort of tourist visa. So borders are not open to tourists, but we have people that found their way in by going through a business visa process, which is quite long and expensive. So I wouldn't recommend it right away, but if someone really needs to get in Indonesia, that's also an option. And we could put you in touch with agencies that are looking after this matter. We're hoping to have a full reopening of the borders in January, and waiting for more news. So keep an eye on the website as well. As soon as the borders reopen, we'll put that up on social media, on the website, and we'll also send newsletters to our guests. If you want to be part of the newsletters, we usually send one newsletter a month, so your mailbox won't be full of our emails. Just register on our booth. So we have your contact details, and then we can send you updates regarding the marine conservation trip, the Go Tag Me project, and also any discounts or offers that we have going on. And that is it. Thank you for joining, first of all. And if you have any other questions regarding this trip, still, I will remain for, I have 3 minutes left, but I can stay a bit longer. Just so you can ask any questions. If you want to come on camera as well, no problem. Terry, I will be chatting with you in a second as soon as this session ends. And thank you, Richard, for attending. It was very nice. It was almost a one-to-one conversation. What time was the Maldives session? Well, it's not a Maldives session. It's this photographer is actually going to present underwater photography he's been taking in Komodo and Adelaar on Adelaar, but he has a long experience in the Maldives, and you can connect with him during the show to hello, Morgane, to ask your questions about the Maldives, or exchange any feedback or experience that you had with your trip there.
I'm just popping in to mention the hour for Pascal's session.
Oh yeah, good.
Yeah, it's today. It's actually on the main stage, and it will be at 3 p.m. UK time today. So I hope I'll see you there, Richard, and anybody else that would like to see beautiful pictures of Komodo and Adelaar.
Cool. Thank you, Morgane. I just put that in the chat.
Yeah, it's 3 p.m. Sorry.
It's 3 p.m.?
3 p.m. UK time.
Oh, sorry. I put the French time. Oopsie. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you, Richard. I'm going to end the session again. If you want to speak to us, ask any questions, just come to the booth. We should be online for the next 3 days.
We also have Terry here, who would like to talk to you more about how we can work together. We'll contact you too.
Yeah. I haven't said all of this
already.
Okay.
Sorry. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Speak to you soon. Thank you, Morgane, for assisting me.
Bye, Mathilde. Thanks for the presentation.
Thanks.